Hello and welcome to what I think is day 19 of Vlogmas. We're getting there. 6 days till Christmas, not far along. Today I wasn't really sure what to make a video on, but I thought I'd go off a topic that's sort of been popular on my channel before, which has been talking about my education. So I'm just going to give you like a little update to my nursing degree and how it's all going and stuff. I know when I started I was vlogging every day in September, and now, well, the first term is over and done with. So I went into a nursing degree expecting it to be 5 days a week really consistently, and it's actually kind of eased us in quite well. We've not always been in 5 days a week. I've always planned and expected to be in, but I've never actually had to be in every single day in a week, I don't think, maybe once or twice. While I'm actually on my uni time, and I spent the first 6 weeks in my degree at university doing modules. So I take 4 modules this year, but I've only started 3 of them this first term, and they are human anatomy and physiology, and then I have nurses in society, and then I have knowledge and skills. So just a little quick rundown. So basically human anatomy and physiology is human biology, and we look at sort of half the topics this term, and we take the exam in January, and then half the topics next term. And then we have knowledge and skill, which is basically lots of basic care requirements that you do as a nurse. Stuff like injections, bed bath, washing, hand washing, blood pressure, taking your pulse, all those quite basic things we do in our first term. And then you have Nurses in Society, which is more looking at how society views nurses, ethical issues, some of the legislation around that, and a lot of that. As well as all of that, we did a lot of like mandatory training and basic training. So we did stuff like basic life support, first aid, and moving and handling were all mandatory. We had to attend it before we could start our placement, along with some of the knowledge and skill sessions. And we also had stuff like health and safety, fluids, stuff like that, which you had to attend, which is important to know. And we had a lecture on our like going into placement and our documents we would have to go into placement with. So that all went really well, but it went very, very quickly. All of a sudden, it was the first week of November and we were going into placement. Oh my gosh, it was terrifying. And I actually had a little issue with my like a little hiccup with some of my safeguarding. Oh, safeguarding is another mandatory thing you have to do. And because it clashed with some of my basic life support, so I ended up doing it later than most people. So I actually wasn't cleared to go into placement. I was cleared to go into my induction for my placement, where it's like a trust induction. I wasn't cleared to go into my placement until 10:30, and I was supposed to be starting at 3. Oh my gosh, was I terrified, but I'm so glad it all got cleared and it was all fine, and I got to go up and go to the ward. So I spent 5 weeks on a ward, we couldn't do more than 3 days a week, like long days, and then like, so some weeks I did 3, some weeks I did 2, because while I was doing long days on my placement, I was spending 1 day a week with uni lectures and stuff like that, which I won't be doing on my next placement. It was full on, and I was very tired a lot of the time, and I went into it going, yeah, I'm going to finish placement at 8 o'clock, go home and make sure I'm up by 6 the next day, so I get into a really good routine and I'm just waking up naturally at that time every morning. No, if you're not in placement or in uni, you have a lie-in. Your body just needs it, and so it's really difficult if you've got 2 placements back to back. Oh my gosh, nurses, I salute you. I've worked in healthcare before, but never to the extent of doing 2, sometimes 3 long days in a row. Because like, you're working from 7:30 in the morning, you get in about 7:15, get changed. Yeah? Sorry about that. And so then, yeah, so you get in about 7:15, get changed, your shift starts at 7:30, you get handover, you go into your shift. And then you don't finish, you have an hour lunch break, sometimes 15 minutes in the morning, and you don't finish until 8 o'clock at night. So it's really, really like fast paced and interesting. I learned so much. I went into there feeling really, really nervous, and now I'd happily go back and do some nursing assistant jobs, which I may be doing. But yeah, I loved it. Placement was such a really surreal situation where I'd never worked in a hospital before, and I think even if I did, going in as a student, it's a little bit different, and what's expected of you is different. they will teach you everything from scratch if you do not know it. If you don't know how to use a piece of equipment, you're not going to be left alone to use it. But once you know how to use it, if they're not concerned about your skill level, you might be expected to do it on your own. And I think if you're not comfortable with that, say something, because they'll happily go through it with you. But yeah, it was really, really interesting. I got to work with some amazing people. I got to meet some amazing patients, and I absolutely loved it. And then I went back to uni for a couple of days, and then I came home. So this first term's gone so quickly, and it's such a contrast to Access, because I've been given one assignment and got one exam to prepare for. I also did a presentation for Nurses in Society, which went really, really well. But yeah, it's just not as full on. Like, I'm not in all the time, it's not quite as crammed in, and yet the expectance of your quality is a lot higher. However, a lot of my first year modules aren't worth a massive proportion of my overall 3-year grade. They're worth a lot to me this year, and I really want to try and do as best as I can, but I'm in a position where if I don't do as amazingly as I'd like to, I feel a little bit more secure. Whereas with Access, those initial grades really, really counted. If I didn't pass something initially, then that was like that was a fairly big proportion of my overall grade. Whereas this, I've got 3 years, so if I make a couple little mistakes in my first year, as long as I'm not failing anything, I'm pretty much okay in my second, like to go through into my second, which I'm really excited about. I don't really know what else to say. I feel like my nursing degree's gone really well for the first term. I've really enjoyed myself. I'm loving my flatmates. I kind of want to just keep this on the education side. But if you have any questions about what to expect or what it's like or anything like that, please leave it down below. Also, I have not mentioned massively where I work, what ward I was on, patients or anything like that, because I don't think personally I'm comfortable with that, and that it's fair to the amazing people who put their time into me. So that's never going to be mentioned in one of my videos unless I am directed otherwise. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!